Hello, everyone, and welcome to our English class. Today we will be learning about the tenses of the B1. Yeah, let me just share my screen. Yeah. So we're going to be mastering B1 grammar, and the most important thing about like grammar are tenses. So yeah, today we'll be talking about tenses of the English. So basically, when you think about tenses, you're thinking about the times, right? Without tenses, when you form a sentence, it wouldn't actually make any kind of sense because there's no time in it. When you form a sentence, you have to have it either in present, future, or past. So today we will be talking about those. So, we can start off with the present tenses. So, each tense, like present, future, and past, will be having four titles in its own. So, as you can see on this one, present tenses have present simple, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. We will be starting on with present simple. So, Uh, we use present simple to talk about some facts that are always true or some habits of ours that we, always do. Like, for example, let's say the sun rises from the east, right? It's not like it's gonna rise from the west or the south. The sun is always rising from the east, and that's a scientific truth. And when we want to form a sentence using a scientific truth, we form it in the present simple. So we say subject plus base verb. You can see here, I play football every weekend. This is a habit of ours, right? We go and play football every weekend. We don't do it like when we get bored or something. We go there and we play football every single weekend. So I is the subject. I am the one who's playing the football. And our base word is to play football, which is basically. So let's again analyze an example of ours. She works at a bank. The subject here is she, and our base word is to work, verb is feel, if you want to just know that. So when we want to add the base verb, she works. And if we want to tell where she works, we can say she works at a bank, maybe she works at a hotel, or maybe she works at a pool. I don't know. She can work anywhere, basically. But she is continuously working there, right? It's not like she's just working there for a day and then changing her job the other day. She's continuously working. It's a habit of hers. Or, for example, let's say that you have a friend. Okay, let's say that your friend is always on time. She is never late. Then you can form a sentence like this about them, right? They usually arrive on time, or he usually arrives on time, because you know that they are not going to be late because they have the habit of being on time. It's a habit of theirs. So that's about it. And there's this important thing. So when we use the he, she, it subjects, we gotta add the s to the word verb. So it's like he verb plus s, or like es according to the verb. Of course, like in this example right here, she works at the bank. She is the verb, and you can clearly see the s. And then there are some signal words that we can see in the present simple tense. Like when you see this word, it's in a sentence, it's probably a present simple formed sentence because these words are used for habits, which is basically what present simple is. So there is always, usually, often, sometimes, never, every day, once a week, once a month, maybe once a year. Like, for example, let's say that I go on holiday with my family once a year, but it's a habit of ours. It's a tradition that we made. We do it every single year, so we we can form that sentence in present simple, basically. Yeah. So if we continue on, we can see present continuous. So, as we all know, the continuous tense is made with the ing form of a verb. So that's actually what we're exactly going to be doing. We are gonna add am is are plus verb in the ing form. For example, I am reading a book now, or they are watching TV. Or let's give an example like this. I am teaching you guys right now. Right? Like, we use present continuous to tell actions that are happening right now, or maybe actions that are temporary. Let's say that I am staying with my friend for a week, maybe. Maybe you're staying at your friend's house for a week, but it's still temporary because after that week finishes, you're gonna go back to your house and you won't be staying at her house anymore. So again, there are some key words that you might see in present continuous sentences, which are now, right now, at the moment, today, these days, currently. And when you see these words, I can assure you that it's like present continuous because we are talking about the moment, and that's it. So, there is a very important thing here. Remember to like never use present continuous for your habits, okay? Always use present simple. Like I said, like for example, you might be playing let's say you might be playing tennis, okay? You If you constantly play tennis, then you gotta say I play tennis because then it means that you're doing that and you're continuously doing that, although don't confuse it with present continuous because it's something different. And the reason that it's different is that when you make something a habit of yours, it automatically becomes, like we said, present simple. Like you can literally see when we use present simple, we talk about our habits. But when we use present continuous, we talk about the action that's happening now, and that's very important. Let's continue on with present perfect. So, uh, in present perfect tense, we can see the structure. It's have or has plus past participle, which is verb 3. So, let's give some examples so we can clearly see it better. For example, let's say that maybe I have seen that movie, right? Let's analyze it and try to understand what present perfect is used from this sentence. I have seen that movie. We can clearly understand that there's a movie and I have seen it, right? So we can clearly understand that mm, when we use present perfect, it's something that's done in your life or something happened before and it still affects you. Let's say that I have seen that movie, it was really nice. It's still affecting you. You have seen that movie, you remember it. Or let's say that your teacher gave you homework, okay? and you have to do your homework, and you did your homework and your homework is done, and you say to your mom, like, I have finished my homework. So now you don't have to do anything else. You can just like relax, read a book, or anything else. It's still affecting you in your current time. And it started in the past and it's still ongoing now, basically. Yeah. So, there's this very important word difference in present perfect. When we form present perfect sentences, sometimes we can use words like for or since. You can see an example down below. So when you use for, it's a period of time. So we can say that I've lived here for 6 years maybe, okay? It means that you have been here for that much amount of time. It means that you have lived here for 6 years. But we can actually form this sentence with the exact same meaning in a very different way as well. Let's say that I have been living in Beşiktaş for 6 years, right? And I can say that I have been living in Beşiktaş since 2019. When you calculate it, it actually makes 6 years. But when we were in school, our teachers like had these questions in the exam, so that's why I'm actually telling this thing, because it was one of our exam questions as much as I remember, which is very important. So for is a period of time, and since, when you see since in a sentence, it means it's that date that it started, which is, again, very important. So if we continue on, we're gonna find present perfect continuous. So it's the final group of the present tense, and we will be finishing the present tense with present perfect continuous. So yeah, let's see. We use present perfect continuous to talk about actions that started in the past and is still continuing on right now. Like, for example, let's say that you have exams in like a few weeks, right? And you want to get good grades from your exams, so you say that I have been studying English for 3 hours. Okay. So when you say this, we can clearly see that you have started studying in the past and you're still studying right now, because it's continuous tense, and continuous tense shows us that you're doing it right now, and it's still ongoing. You've started and you're still continuing to study. You have not stopped yet. You have not finished the action of studying. So let's see how we form the present perfect continuous. We use have / have has been, okay? You gotta use either have or has plus been plus verb in the ing form. So let's give an example. Maybe she has been waiting since morning. She started waiting in the morning and she's still waiting. It's still going on. The action is not finished yet. And that's when we use present perfect continuous. Actually, you can uh, find what the tense wants you to create in the name. It's talking about present. We're talking about the present day, okay? And it's perfect and it's continuous. So when something is continuous, you just add the ing form, and when something is perfect, you just add have has. And it's that easy actually. So that was all for our present tenses, and we will be going on with our past tenses. So the things that happened in the past, when we want to explain the things that happened in the past, we will be using the past tenses, and we will be forming our sentences with the past tense. So let's start. Let's see what we have in the past tense. We have past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Like again, it's actually very similar to the present tenses. It's just in the past form, basically. Let's start on with past simple. So, it's the one that we very commonly use. Actually, it's one of the first tenses that you would learn in English. Basically, like when you're learning future and past, because it's the easier one, actually. Um, so it's very basic. The form is very basic as well. You just add the verb and add ed to it when it's a regular verb, of course. So, and when it's an irregular verb, you just get the verb to its second form, and it's like that. Like for example, we say that work, right? When you want to make work the verb work in the past, you just say worked. Or play, and when you want to make it in the past tense, you say played. But when the verb is irregular, like go, you can't say goed. Okay, that's not how English works. You gotta say it went. You can't say seed. You gotta say saw. You can't say eated. It's it's not like that, okay? You gotta say ate. So these are some irregular verbs that are an example, of course, and there are quite a lot of irregular verbs, but after you practice and you start hearing them and you start reading them and you start using them, you actually get quite used to them. So don't worry about it when you just see like 3 sheets of irregular verbs and your teacher is like, you gotta learn all of these. Just use them and put them in practice, and that'll make it much more easier for you to understand and for you to actually learn them, like actually. So when we want to when we want to form a sentence in past simple, it's actually very easy. Like I watched a movie, or I went to school, or I went to camp, or I went to a park, or maybe I grabbed a coffee with my friend, right? Like, you just get the verb and put it in the past form and use it in the past form, and it's that easy. So, let's continue on with past continuous. Do you remember what I said with the continuous form? You just add the ing. And when we are in the past form, you just gotta add was were, because that's what literally makes the sentence actually in past tense. You just add was, were, or the second form of the verb, or ed, and somehow it actually becomes past. um, like we use past continuous, okay, to talk about an action in progress in the past, and interrupted actions or background in the story, maybe. So let's give you examples to make it clearer. I was reading when you called, or they were playing football at 5 p.m. So we have two examples here which are very lovely. So I want to just analyze them right now. I was reading when you called. So I was doing an action in the past. I was reading, right? But then you called, so it became past the second you called me. Or um let's say that we, we were eating ice cream when we saw a friend, right? We stopped eating an ice cream the second we saw the friend, so the action has been done. It's in the past. So it automatically makes it past continuous. And when we want to talk about an action in progress in the past, like let's say that uh, I was studying foot, I was studying maths at my bed yesterday. I was continuing to study on my bed maths. Like, yeah. And let's say that, let's give another example because this one could be quite confusing for some people. Let's say that she was cooking dinner at 6 o'clock. Okay. Um, we can see that it was an action in progress in the past. She was cooking, right? It's an action to cook. But it was in the past. She was. She's not cooking right now. She was cooking. And let's continue on with past perfect. So, we use past perfect to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. This is one of the trickier ones again. So, um, it might be a little hard, but I'm gonna explain it to you. Let's say that, let's give you an example, okay? And let's analyze the example to actually find the form. Let's say I had finished my homework before dinner, right? There are two actions, actually. Finishing the homework and a dinner. It says that I have finished my homework before the dinner has started. So, it is like you can say actually the earlier past and the, past past. It's like a farther away past. So, when you want to form a sentence in past perfect, you gotta use had plus past participle verb 3. That's about it, actually. And like, you don't have to actually very complicated, but let's just give a few more examples for us to be a little more clear in our head and clear in our minds. Let's say that she had already left when I arrived. Okay, it's actually a very nice example. You can clearly see that um there are two actions, someone leaving and someone arriving, right? She had already left when I arrived. She was long gone before I was even there. That's about it. Like, it's an action happening before an action, but it's in the past. It's like storytelling, basically. Like, first this happened in the past, and then another thing happened in the past, and then we're on today. But there are two things that happened in the past. And if there are two things that happened in the past, we use past perfect. Yeah, basically. So let's continue on to our last past tense. Our last past tense is past perfect continuous. So, ding ding ding, when you see continuous, you automatically add ing, okay? Never forget the ing. Because when it's continuous, it's ongoing, but in the past. Okay, we will see it. Don't worry, don't worry. So, okay. We use it to tell an action that was continuing up to a point in the past, okay? We use it to emphasize the duration, time that it takes of an action. So, um, it's actually quite similar to past perfect, but it more emphasizes on the time that it took us to do that action. Like, for example, uh, she had been studying for 3 hours before my exam, her exam started. Let's say, like, she had been studying for 3 hours before her exam started. We are talking about the duration. She has been studying. The action is already finished, but it was ongoing at some point. Some point in the past, it was something that was continuing on happening. She was studying. Before, she was studying for 3 hours before her exam started. There's an action that finishes one action. So there's an action it's like actions in a row of timeline. Think about it like that. And there's an action before an action, and that's our continuous. That's our past perfect continuous action, basically. And that was all of our past tenses. So we will be ending the lesson right now, and we will be continuing on our lesson later on. Thank you for listening, and I will be hoping to see you in our next one.